all going on a summer holiday.
Hello and welcome to Black Crow Gaming. I hope you just enjoyed Josh's singing because that was 100% live. Uh, I did
Copyright
tell him
strike
that Ross was
already.
literally saying that we need to be quiet, but apparently that didn't go away. Anyway, I'm Aaron. I'm your host tonight with Black Crow Gaming. We're going to be talking about the international team tournament and how Black Crow are going to go and basically overrun it. What's that about? Well, you're going to find out. So tonight I've got with me the man with the most ginger beard you're going to see. He is probably more Viking than the Viking themselves. We've got Black Crow's Josh. Give us a wave, Josh.
Evening, guys. How we doing?
And then at the bottom of our screen tonight, the man that is literally just a head of some description. Looks like it's just floating in the ether. He is somebody you've probably seen on our battle reps, and he is much more than just a head. It's Simon from Black Crow Games. Simon, give us a wave.
Hi.
Excellent. So tonight we are going to be talking about the Meta Monday, but there's not really that much to talk about because actually there wasn't that many tournaments over the weekend. So this week we thought we would talk about the international team tournament. Now that was announced recently, and us at Black Crow Gaming thought, you know what, we fancy this. It's in May, hosted in Birmingham. And we decided we'd go for it. So before we get too into it, I'm going to ask the question: what is a team tournament? Who wants to take that question? Don't be shy.
Am I doing it? I'm doing it. Okay, cool. You've probably seen, if you've watched any of the recent WTC World Championships, teams can be multiple things. So at that level, they're playing 8-man teams. But most of the smaller events or domestic national events are 5-person teams. So that's what we're going to be going to. It's a UKTC event, 5 players in a team, going head-to-head for 5 rounds, a bit like a GT. You still take 2,000 points each. Most events argue that you only take one faction from each codex/index. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, there's also then going into the play style of the armies. So, you would normally put an attacker out first, and then your opponent puts out a defender, and you sort of roll off who plays who. There's a little bit of maths involved. We probably won't be going that deep into the maths at the event. We're not Team England, but it should be a lot of fun. That's a very brief look of it anyway.
So, if for those at home, obviously we've just given you a brief explanation of what we're looking at. But Simon, tell us, what from a Black Crow Gaming point of view, how are we going to attack this? Are we going to be going in and we're going to put all of our most competitive players in one team, looking to see how far we can get in this event? Are we going to mix it up? Or are we just going to wait and see what happens with the meta? Like, where do we sit from this as a gaming group? Because we're taking 15 people, so that's three teams. So that's not that we're going to be one of the most represented teams there potentially, unless Team England has multiplied. And so where do you think where we're going to come from here?
I don't. Just through what Crows do, I don't think we're ever going to have one team of the 3 that's going to be all meta. We're going to take 1 or 2 strong players from each area and put them into different groups, I think, because there's no point having one team potentially dominating as a group and leaving the other 2 teams to sort of flounder and not enjoy it so much. And I've not done a team event. I know Josh has. So I'd rather have 2 or 3 guys that are stronger, more capable maybe, and go and put them in one group and have 2 newer guys with them and sort of get them under their wings, have a bit of support with them, and show them a good time. We're not going to be meta. We're not going to be, well, we are going to be taking probably meta lists, but we're not going to be stupid lists and running mental ideas. It's going to be what we've got, what we're able to take. It's going to be fun. Like I said, I've never done a team tournament, so I want to be enjoying it. And enjoying the experience of it, having 5 good games against 5 great teams, just having a laugh, and that's what we've always been about. So yeah, I think that's going to be our main goal, is to have fun with it. So
And
lots of drink.
yeah, lots of drink.
And you touched on briefly, like, we're gonna be able to take meta lists and what we have available to us. Now, you know, it's not unusual for people to have multiple armies, but one thing about Black Pro Gaming is that, you know, we have a lot at our disposal.
Yes.
And I think, Josh, you probably best to take this one. Out of the 15 people going, how many different armies have we got? Do we cover
Oh my goodness!
Every faction, isn't it?
We actually do cover every faction. We do have everything, all the Eldars, all of the Imperium, Space Marines, all Chaos armies, even things like Black Templars, Necrons, Voltan. We got it pretty much covered on everything, amongst the 15 of us.
And I think it's also worth noting as well, like, I know we're saying we are taking some rookie tournament players, but I want to talk about those rookie tournament players because 2 of those rookies come from Norwich. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up, so Corbin at his first GT, a 60-person event, 3-2.
Nice.
First event.
It's better than my first GT.
First GT. He played some RTs, played some smaller tournaments. But this was his first proper competitive, where the players there were some of the best players in the UK. Toby, he went to that same tournament again, very very rookie. He went 2-3, but he lost. He played 2 Eldari lists, and he also played a Thousand Suns list. Now, this is what's important to note. The person he lost to, the Eldari player, won the whole event and is recognised as one of the best players in the country. Another player he lost to was from Vanguard Tactics. He's known as Paul Bridge, and he is also recognised as one of the top players. He was on this stream not so long ago, and he's number 1 for Tyranids. He's a Vanguard Tactics coach. And then another guy he lost to was another Eldari meta list. This is a guy, he didn't lose, like, get smashed. You know, there was a few points in it. So we talk about our rookies, but our rookies are actually good players. And by the time that we come to this tournament, our rookies probably won't be that much
rookies.
I mean,
no.
Christ, in Norwich,
7 months.
Yeah, I mean, how many tournaments have the guys in Norfolk got racked up in the next 2 months? I think some of us are going to 3-4 events. And then then we've got our new Reading player who's joined us. His first GT is Coventry.
8 games.
8 games. So he's baptized by fire. So when we talk about our rookies, are they really rookies? Can we call them rookies? What do you reckon?
Arguably, yes. I mean,
if you look at the comparison of players,
Yeah, I think it's very different than it was even as short as 5 years ago. Like, the access you now have to, like, free content and information about this game is so accessible now that I feel that you're not just playing with your mate at home, guessing rules, and then go to an event and go, oh, that's not how I thought it worked. Because 5-10 years ago, that was probably the case. Where now you go, what does this rule do? How does that interact? I'll go and watch a YouTube video on it. So these guys are now getting to a point where actually they do know the rules before they go to an event because they study it and learn it. New players are walking into the game with not the experience, but the play skill level. So when they are practicing games at home, they got that ability before they hit a GT, which is really great. And like you say, we've got these new guys on. It's really impressive, great to see. And as you say, 7 months from now. And then also being able to play with, guys like ourselves who have done a lot of events in the past, they also learn quite a lot from being in a team environment for a weekend, because you are interacting the whole weekend on your gameplay, the style of game you're going to be playing. Don't get me wrong, teams events is very different from solo singles. Like you're building lists to help the team, so you're not necessarily going to be taking the best singles list, but you're going to be taking a list that helps the team, whether that's an outright attacking alpha strike list, or like a gatekeeper list, or just something that's extremely durable but scores well. So you run your opponents as close to like a draw as possible, or your wild card list that we just sort of chuck at anything and see what sticks. So the nice thing about teams as well, it's not about always winning every game. It's about getting the most points out of every game, whether that's win or loss.
So I think that's a really good point. So a lot of people when they play Warhammer, there's some people out there, and we know them, and they get quite salty when they lose. Like they could be, it's a big deal to them. And essentially at a teams event, you need to have somebody who's a good loser, who's willing to take one for the team, knowing that they're going to really struggle, potentially probably lose, but they can score high in a game. So they'll be going.
Yeah, exactly.
Their literal job. And this is something when you're building your teams, if you're going to the Birmingham ITT or you're going to a team tournament locally, think about somebody in your team who actually will score you points, and that is way more, sometimes more important than that potentially really strong player just winning every game. Because if you've got other players that you can match in who can win games as well, but might not win games by a big score, but you've got a player who can score well, that can be massive. I'm sorry, we've just lost visual on one of our guys. I'm sure he'll pop back in a minute. But what do you think to that, Simon?
Yeah, I mean, I've got an idea that one of our players, he's back. Sorry, hey, surprise! Yeah, one of our guys back down here in Yeovil. I mean, Sam, he's the lovable guy he's probably going to be thrown under the bus more times than he's going to win games. But I think that's his kind of personality, where he just goes, I don't care what I face. If it helps us win, send me under there. I don't really care. But I think all of us, if it's a case of my list isn't going to do too well into any of these, but I might be able to get a draw out of this, we'll all just put a hand up and go, I'll take that. I'll do that. I don't care.
And the thing is, we're in a situation at the minute where we don't know what to do in 7 months. So let's just put that out there. So when I put in there that we're going to talk about team tactics, the team tactics will change as we go along. And anybody who's signed up to that right now, there's no point planning anything. We don't know what it's going to be come May. You basically want to be looking at this maybe 3 weeks before the tournament, and then working out what you're going to be taking or what you want to be doing. Simply because we'll have the most up-to-date rules at that point, because new code.
Yeah.
I mean, that realistically, we will know at that point what we have available to us.
When's the next data slate drops in January, doesn't it? Is there one before the team tournament?
Can't imagine there.
April, won't it? I would imagine April, but
yeah,
it's normally in May, isn't it?
But we've got multiple codexes dropping.
Yeah,
this is something actually,
that's the other big thing.
Yeah, the roadmap. I wish I sourced that in. I should have done that. Sorry, guys. But yeah, the roadmap of codexes. I mean, we've got Necrons coming up.
Yep.
Necrons, AdMech.
Yeah. So we've got several in January and February.
Custodes, I think, was in there, wasn't it? Custodes and Tau.
Yeah, as you can see.
Yeah.
Not that I'm hinting by being a Custodes fanboy, but on the
really, you've never said.
Meta Monday has got naked Custodes on the front.
Yeah, that turned you on, didn't it?
Yeah, I'm nervous as we speak. No, right. Everybody wondering why this keeps bobbing up and down. No, anyway, I digress. So, for Black Crow Gaming, I think something that's really important to us, and especially, I know me and Josh have spoken about it, and I feel the same. The growth of Black Crow as a brand recently, and our membership. I mean, we were at 8 players at one point or something like that. I think you had like 4, and now it's like 36 across the country.
Yeah.
Yeah, 36, 40, something on those lines, around there somewhere.
A lot of these players are committed. They're wearing our merch. Thank you, Josh. Wearing one of our cool hoodies, all designed by that man in the middle, by the way. Josh, he's definitely very good at doing the merch side of things, and then we have some dice and objective markers, and what we're really excited about is when we tip up to Birmingham, is having 15 tables with our loot and merch on. That's
Yeah.
gonna be cool.
Yeah, it'd be very cool.
And at this point, I mean, potentially, we could flirt with the idea of a fourth team.
We've got enough interest, we might be able to, yeah.
We have 3 people who want to run as backups.
It's very true. We're in demand.
I mean, so we only need, theoretically, 2 more players. And I'm pretty sure we can probably convince a couple of our guys to come along. So it might be a conversation we need to have, boys. What do you reckon?
I think it's always going to be an ongoing conversation. We're going to be looking at that all the time. If there's tickets available and we can get a team together, we'll do it.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like if it's doable, then we'll do it. But you never know.
Do you think we're going to be one of the most represented teams there? Can we think of other teams that are going to turn up with as many as us?
I can't.
6++.
I can't think. Potentially, but I've never seen more than 2 teams going that I can think of off the top of my head.
So I think
Vanguard usually take a lot. 6++. You've got.
Vanguard might take 3 teams.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Team England. There'll be Wales, Scotland representing.
I imagine
normally
Poland and co coming over again, and France.
Italy.
We will have a big number. I don't think we're going to be the one with the biggest teams. I think there are going to be teams that have 4 or 5, 3 or 4 teams together. I think 3 is going to be the most teams you'll see by one sort of faction, by one sort of group. But I think the average is going to be at least 2 teams by each different group.
So Simon, for our viewers, if anyone watches this, why should we be encouraging people to be coming to a teams tournament? If they're going to go and they're like, I'd rather go to singles, why should we encourage them to come to a teams? What's so special about a teams? Tell us what is really the most attractive thing about it.
Well, what do you enjoy more about 40k? It's rolling dice with your friends at home, having a drink and a laugh, and playing some silly games. So put that in a competitive environment, and then it's. You're playing with, in our case, it's going to be 15 of our friends in a hall, having 5 great games against 5 other teams and just enjoying it. It's 40k that's competitive, but it's going to be more of a laugh because it's a more relaxed environment because it's the nature of it. It's not about just what you're doing. It's what your team's doing as a group, and yeah.
I've done team event before, and the whole atmosphere in the hall is different to a singles event. Everyone is in good spirits. They're there for the fun of it, and you get down to the last game, and I know you're a couple of points difference, and everyone stood around like anticipating what's going to happen and having some fun with it. And that just obviously doesn't happen in singles. So that's really nice to see. And I think that's what it is. It's a more relaxed but still highly competitive atmosphere, and it's just a different experience.
I think as somebody, this is going to be my first teams tournament, and obviously even as a TO, I've never even organised a team tournament. It's something that we in the past we kind of talked about, but never really put it together because the scene in Norfolk is still growing. But I feel like there's going to be a special type of buzz to a tournament like this that will be very different to a singles, and I think you're going to feed off that energy. I mean, I am a competitive person. I know that. I'll put my hands up to that. I like competition, but what I love more about competition than any other type of competition is doing competition with my mates. So sitting there talking tactics. I love chewing the fat and working out what is the best list for my play style.
What's that T word you used?
Sorry?
What's that T word you used? Tactics?
Yeah, tactics. That thing. I mean, I don't know if you guys are allowed to say that. How many times have you won events, Simon? How many events have you won?
Last year I think it was 4. This year has been 1 or 2. So yeah, a couple.
And out of all of these events, how many of them do you normally podium in?
If I go to an event, I like to.
So you talk about this thing called tactics.
Just get roasted.
I'm taking Eldar or Jakari when they're at the top of their game.
Let's be really, really brutal here. You know what the fuck you're doing. So don't sit there and give it a big... Anyone that comes up against a table against Simon, just be aware, the floating head knows what he's doing.
Hang on, I'll get my little angel halo look. I'm perfect.
Oh yeah.
Simon's a naughty boy.
And Josh, you've been a little... You'll admit yourself, you've not been to many events this year. You've been trying to help grow the channel. Very, very, very good. But when you go to events, especially in your local area, what happens? What do you normally walk away with?
Stuff and things.
Exactly. I can't even talk as well. Like I've unfortunately podiumed at my own event, come away with stuff.
Thanks.
Went down to a random tournament in Portsmouth and did all right. So we would be lying as a team if we said that we don't have players that do all right when we go to tournaments. And
I'm not. We do well in our local matters. That's the thing. We do well in our local
international. Thank you.
No, true. Yeah, you went out to Manchester and did quite well. Fair. But yeah,
I think we should have some confidence with that because we're coming from. We may not go to big UKTC events, but we still go to events and we still play people who are good at Warhammer. And I mean, look, Manny came down to Cross Swords. He didn't win the event. Everybody who would have seen Manny's name there at a random event in the middle of nowhere would have thought he would walk away with it. But what happened?
Yeah.
I mean, he spanked my ass that day. I had a blasting hangover.
Yeah, well, all it takes is one beer and he's Oh, shit. So we'll be really honest. We are a team that focuses on fun for ourselves and fun for the person we play, but we also will look to win the game.
Yeah, we've always said we play hard, but
it's fair.
We play hard and win hard. That's just how we are.
So if we think about it, when we come to this tournament, I know 7 months is a long way, and it's gonna change. What are you hoping that is gonna be in the meta so that you can take?
Jakari. Please.
It's a bad time to ask me that question. I'm in such a funk with
this is why I deliberately asked it because I know you're in a funk, and I feel like we need to get the cogs turning, get the WD-40, and get you thinking.
I've got an event in November that I've got to get ready for, and I don't even know what faction I'm taking yet.
Sam's got a Warlord Titan.
I mean, the truth is, with team events, you want stuff in that army, in that team that has the tools to deal with stuff.
Yeah.
So you're probably going to want, if Eldar are still as strong as they are now, you're going to want an Eldar on every team.
Yeah.
You're then probably going to want an Orc player because they just fuck shit up.
You're
then probably going to need... Yeah, Marines for this utility. They have enough stuff they can do. You probably then want a Knight player, whether it's Chaos or Imperial, just for that anti-tank. So there's a few armies just off the bat that you just go, if we have that option, they'd probably be quite good to chuck in. So, and I'm happy to play any of those factions, to be honest. I mean, I think even Tau wouldn't be a bad shout because I know that last time I did the UKTC team event, 3 of the tables are their standard terrain. One's a dense table and one's a light table.
Yeah, and
so you've also got to pick those. You've got to pick those tables as well. So the last time I went, I took my Grey Knights, and I was our Alpha Strike player, but I was also always trying to get on the heavy table. So it's a bit of a.
It's custodian player that would probably favour dynamite in combat. Custodians are awesome in combat, but they are suffering a little bit with the shooting. But we know a codex is coming, and
This is true, but they're still because they're so durable and so tough. I would almost put them as a defending army, just so because you know they can score well.
even in any loss I ever take, it's very rare that I score low. I mean,
Exactly.
I know one of the L's I took not that long ago. One of the tournaments, I think I lost by like a point, and savage losses, but they're acceptable losses, right? As long as you're scoring.
Exactly.
I think as we get closer to it as a team, we're all gonna get. We had like a Discord chat, and I think this is really important for everybody out there. Is that when you are organising this team, is that you're really vocal and you chat to each other about it, and you talk about it well in advance, and then get your reps in. This is important. Like by the time we come to the ITT, play some tournaments. If you can get to tournaments, this might be the only one you can get to, but if you can go to your local RTTs, just try stuff and just kind of get the experience of what it's like being at a tournament. I think that's really important. Just getting the atmosphere, because I think the ITT, if it's the first time you're going to go, like it's going to be for me, I'm expecting the atmosphere to be up here.
Oh, I mean, there's going to be over 500 people there. I mean, they're doing a Sigma team event at the same time as well.
Nice.
It's going to be a busy old place.
Is it done on WTC points as well? So it's 20, 11.
Yes, it's done.
19,
It has to. Yeah, it has to be done on WTC scoring. Hence
So a low
why
point loss
you
could potentially
push
be a
for
draw.
draws.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is why you push, because every point makes a difference.
Yeah.
Let's get the. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get at the UKTC tournament, and I'm going to source in, guys. Let's have a look at the event pack.
I don't believe there is one at the moment, is there?
No, there might be for the one they've got coming up in February.
January, innit? End of Jan.
Yeah, something like that.
I've done that one.
So give me a second here. 2-day.
I mean, I'm pretty excited the fact that we're going for 4 days.
You'll go for 4 days. I might just be for 2. Someone's got to work.
4. 6 days.
No, maybe I can't find it. That's fine. I will. If I do find it, I'll put it into the description below, and we'll go over. People can have a look at that then. So I think we've talked about the international teams quite a lot. Shall we have a look at the Meta Monday article? Now, like I said at the very beginning, there isn't that much to talk about. However, it's a massive tournament, and what shocked me the most about this tournament was the prizes.
Yeah.
I have never ever seen a UK tournament give a cash prize. And this was not look like a small amount of cash. First place took £500 cash. And that's Hellstorm.
What event was this?
Hellstorm.
Oh, Hellstorm, yeah. Harry runs that event.
So
no, not Hellstorm.
No,
sorry.
Mikey.
Yeah, Mikey, isn't it? Yeah.
So tell me, look,
That's Battlefield Birmingham.
I've always thought we couldn't give cash prizes in the UK because of gambling laws. However, I guess I'm wrong, because first place, Hellstorm Major, £500 winners, and you guys aren't.
And a golden ticket.
And you guys aren't going to be shocked to know that it was a 7-0 Eldari list.
He already had a golden ticket, so it didn't go to him.
No,
it didn't go to second place. It went to third place.
Yeah.
Necrons.
Yeah, Mark Crumbleholm. Great player.
So,
yeah, Mark Crumbleholm's a good player, but there's still see Necrons up there.
Yeah.
So
but not surprised to see Mark there.
What do we reckon? I'll read out the top 10, and I want you to tell me if there's any surprises here. So, Eldari with the 7-0, Eldari with 6-1, Necrons with 5-1, Space Marine Gladius Task Force 5-1, Eldari 5-1, Votan 5-1, Chaos Space Marines 5-1, Chaos Knights 5-1, Eldari 5-1, Eldari 5-1. I might as well do the last two. In 11th, Space Wolves with Stormlance, and 12th was Necrons 5-1.
Nice.
For me, I thought CSM would be higher. Chaos Knights with the right matchups, yeah, they can normally sneak in that sort of good score if they're piloted well. The Space Force one, I've actually been talking to Corda about this Stormlance detachment, and it can be a real pain in the ass. Unfortunately, there's a lot of mounted units, but yeah, they're quick, they're durable, they punch like a train, so I can kind of see why that's there. I'm actually a little bit surprised to see that much Eldari. It seemed to have creeped. No, it's creeped back in. Everyone got fed up of it when the data slate dropped. And it wasn't being represented that much. And now it's started creeping back in again. It's just showing its true power that it is still too good.
Yeah. The terrain was interesting because there was 5 different types of terrain.
Yeah.
Which was really nice. So you can't build a list for terrain.
Let's talk about that. 5 different types of terrain. Is that the way we should be doing tournaments? So EA Slam did 2 different types of terrain. It was a 60-player event, and we had 2 different types. Very different types.
Yeah.
Now, Hellstorm have gone and done it, and they had 5 different types. Now, I've spoken to a few players that went to that event, and they loved it.
Yeah.
Should be doing that.
If it can
I think I agree. Yeah, I mean, I remember before, when we started getting UKTC events and everything being standardized and the same, it was like, this is amazing. You know what to expect, blah, 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 blah. Well, actually, we know for a fact that a few of our local events don't have all matching terrain.
No.
And we've become used to it. And actually, yeah, you're probably right. Like on a major scale, like a major GT scale, having 3 or 4 different types of terrain probably isn't a bad idea. I mean, you're still always going to get those sort of top 15% players fighting out at the top. But at least it's a bit more interesting for everyone else because, you might walk up to a heavy table and you've got knights and you think, great, I'm going to love my life here. And some people might look at it and go, well, I feel hard done by. It's luck of the draw. Like, you don't get to pick a battlefield.
No.
Let's get on that. So we're saying about being hard done by. I think every table, although we can have different sets of terrain, I think the terrain should offer similar levels of cover.
Well, they all did because it was WTC, UKTC, it was player placed, GW, and GameMap.eu terrain.
Okay, I completely agree. The terrain, in essence, should be the same amount of denseness. I never have agreed with player placed terrain.
No.
Just putting that out there. Not a fan of it at all.
Hate it.
So just explain to
there's
our
just
listeners what player placed terrain is.
So if you've been to other like UKTC events, for example, every table was measured. So the terrain pieces, you measure it before the game starts, so it's the same across the board. Everything mirrors. Player placed terrain is literally like your deployment. You take turns putting pieces of terrain down on the table. They do a lot in the US, and I'm just not a particular fan of it. I think that leaves too many arguments amongst players sometimes. And just feel bads from the tables. I'm not saying that always happens, and I've never really had that experience with it, but I'm just not a fan of it.
No, I did it at Beachhead, I think 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, and it just adds an extra level of sort of competitiveness to it, or a bit of like, you want that first dice roll, so you can put that first bit of terrain in the middle of the board, so you can't place anything else around it, and it's just like an extra headache. It's like, I want the mission, want the terrain. Here's my army. Here's your army. Cool, let's go. Make it balanced. Make it level.
Okay. So I think we're pretty much all in agreement that we actually like this mixed terrain type tournament.
Yeah.
I liked it. I thought EA Slam was great having the 2 different types of terrain, and I think I've been told that Hellstorm was excellent. And the guys, if any of them actually end up listening to this podcast, it sounds fantastic, and I can't wait to come to one of your events in the future. It sounds like a great, well-run event. And the cash prize, is that something that we want to see creeping into Warhammer 40,000?
Well, there's one company down here that does that. Well, they did do cash prize events, and that was down at UCG. And they didn't get the football in. They couldn't get people in at all, which is shocking when they were literally given first place for a 30-player GT was £300, and that's in a local meta down here, which I won one last year and won £300. It's like, cool. I've never had that. That was the best day ever. So I just don't understand
we
why
never had £300.
Yeah.
To run tournaments and see huge prize money, is that going to bring the type of play? Does that not add a new type of player?
I never saw that.
So I never went to the ones that Simon went to, but it's a very fine line. We've already got what we may call tryhards that will win at all costs for a bit of plastic and a gift card. So is that just going to make them even worse when you're trying to play for £300-500?
I think that is
and
the worry.
Is there going to be more
people.
arguments?
Yeah.
Yeah, and is there going to be more arguments because of it? Don't get me wrong, from an organiser's point of view, if you've got an event that you can manage and run well, and you feel confident enough to do that, I know for a fact, Harry at Battlefield Birmingham, his events are very much focused towards the sportsmanship and the painting, etc. And in his events, those prizes are actually bigger than winning first and second place.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it depends how you balance it, but I don't think it's worth the risk reward from a TO point of view.
I personally don't think we should be bringing cash prizes into 40k and into tournaments, toy soldier tournaments, because when you start doing that, you invite different types of people. Now, yes, the hobby is growing, and we love the hobby and we love it, but does it bring people into the hobby for the wrong reason? If we start getting into American style, where some of them are offering several £1,000s, are we going to see ticket price increases? Are we going to be able to facilitate these big price funds? Are we then going to get to the sort of thing where it's similar? I mean, it never will be, but like the tennis. You go to Wimbledon and these players are buying in to come so that they have an opportunity to potentially win thousands of pounds, and it becomes their life.
I was thinking more poker. To be honest. Is going to all-star poker games.
We are gambling our money on dice.
Same principle, isn't it?
But then some people could argue, what's the difference of them giving away £500 worth of Warhammer?
Yeah, but if you're giving away gift cards or whatever, it's a bit different, isn't it? But if the person wants to go and spend that on models and then resell them, that's up to them. But I just think from the gambling point, when you go back to the gambling point of view, that does, as you say, open up just a can of worms, really. That potentially, it could be viewed in that sense that you're going there to win the event, which means... And the trouble with Warhammer is it's too open. There's too much interpretation of the rules. So unlike gambling with cards or roulette or betting on the horses, there's no movement in that. This is how it is. You don't go to play blackjack and go, well, that's 22. No, it's 20. Well, it's not, because it counts to 22. You can't argue that. Where on a 40k table, you can argue the fucking rule all day long and no one ever knows. And then the worst thing of events at the moment is you haven't got TOs that are strong enough at some events to go, no, this is the ruling, I've made the decision. The one thing I absolutely hate at events at the moment is when a TO Well, what are you doing here? Well, then what are you doing here?
Yeah.
So no, long answer short, no.
Okay, this is food. For anyone that watches this, think about that and see, just kind of let us know what you think. So we're going to move on. We're going to look at Oktoberfest, great name. Ipswich, Australia, 51 players, 5 rounds. I can't believe that was the second biggest tournament for a GT. Anyway, the
51, yeah.
5-0 Admech of KSF. Second, 5-0 KS Space Marines. Third, with 4-1 Iron Storm Space Marines. Fourth was GSC with a 4-1. Fifth was Votan with a 4-1. Sixth was Guard with a 4-1. Eldari was 7th with a 4-1. And 8th was Tyranids with a 4-1. I think this is...
They're so upside down. Their meta, honestly.
This is a meta thing, isn't it? This is
their meta is so different.
Yeah, the price of their models in Australia is double what we pay, so...
Oh, that Admech player must have taken a loan out.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're one of the most expensive armies.
It would be, yeah. I think whenever we look at an Australian GT, I think especially when it comes to statistics, and this is where the statistics get skewed, I think we have to take it with a bit of a pinch of salt because they don't have the availability of models that we do over here in the UK or even in the US or even in Europe.
That's the other thing, isn't it?
And the cost. I mean, they're paying triple than what we're paying. And we talk about this being a luxury hobby. Over there, it's very much a luxury hobby.
Well, like you say, it's availability, so the meta is almost slowed down because they can't get the models fast enough.
No.
I mean, I remember talking to a guy when the World Eaters was strong over there, and he was getting his models 4 months behind the rest of the world. So, and then before we knew it, the Codex was gone.
Yeah.
Because it was the end of the edition, and he hadn't even got his models in the first place. So, yeah, they do play on a different level over there. But Admech, okay.
Admech are strong, but we're going to move on because I don't want us to get stuck on this one because we're going to move on to one that's in Europe. And this is another 51 player. This is called Les Warpicultures. Warpicultures. My French is terrible.
Les Warpicultures.
You've butchered that.
I did butcher that. And this is in France. 51 players, 5 rounds, and this was WTC scoring. It's worth noting. So,
why?
Why is it worth noting it's WTC scoring?
No, why was it WTC scoring? I don't get this for singles events.
They do it quite a bit in Europe.
Yeah, I did it in an event last year, and it's fine, but no, it doesn't really work for singles.
A lot of these places, the UK scene is the odd one out.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to go into the top 6. So, and this is where I think this is more of a true representation of the meta. So we've got Chaos Space Marines 5-0, Eldari 4-0-1, Chaos Knights 4-1, Votan 4-1, Sisters 4-1, Chaos Space Marines 4-1. I am not shocked by any of those top 6 because I know Sisters have come back strong in the latest meta.
I also like that top 6 as well. I think that's a good representation of where we're at right now.
I think, yeah, like Votan got made so cheap that they're just out modelling just about any army on the board.
And people are still trying to catch up with how to run them at the moment because they were running vehicle heavy, and now to run troop heavy, it's trying to catch up. So it's going to be a couple of weeks until it comes back out, I think.
Yeah.
And we obviously, like Chaos Space Marines, we know are strong. We know we know Eldari are strong. Chaos Knights, that has to be the most shocking turn of events from the meta because Imperial Knights have gone the other way and they have plummeted, whereas Chaos Knights have become very strong. Now, Josh, you're a Chaos Knights player. You know your Chaos Knights quite well. You know your Imperial Knights very well. Tell us what has been unlocked in the Chaos Space Marines, not Chaos Space Marines, Chaos Knights, that is making them podium. What is it?
Chaos Demons.
Didn't even think about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because he's already written it.
Yes, no, it purely is. They've always been good, even in 9th edition and running War Dogs. The fact that you can make one of the War Dogs a character The army's ability to run through walls is really annoying. And in fact, then you just fill the rest of the list out with Nurglings, Blue Scribes, Changelings, pretty much flavour however you like with some demons in there for scoring. And you've got a pretty potent list, which has got 10 to 11, maybe even 12 War Dogs, T10 running around at 12 inches, and then just some scoring stuff. Like, it's pretty simple, really. I mean, all OC8, so they sit on primary quite well, and they're a bugger to move off.
There you have it, guys. The tactical talk of Josh from Black Crow Gaming.
Short and sweet.
Also, some in-depth Vanguard tactics style, but we haven't got the muscles for that. Anyway, we'll move on.
I mean, maybe with a bit more prep, I could have gone into more depth for you, but the long and short.
So we're going to get into something, and this isn't. Well, it's a bit of a shock. So the new one is the Torneo Octubre WTC GTS Valencia. So 42 players, 5 rounds in Spain. WTC scoring again. First place, we've got Blood Angels with the Gladius Task Force, 5-0. Then it's Eldari with a 4-1. Eldari with a 3-2, and Necrons with a 3-2. Now, actually, the 42-player event, the third place was a 3-2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a bit odd.
So I don't know what's gone on there.
But it's the WTC scoring. It's what it is. It
There still should have been at least another
more.
4-on-1.
Hmm.
But anyway, it's Gladius Task Force, Blood Angels. So, Gladius Task Force, isn't that just literally, that's the weakened dose?
That's the basic one, yeah. They might have been using
No.
pre-codex.
Yeah. Oh, maybe. I'll tell you what, though. I want to go to Valencia to play 40k.
Yeah.
We'll go.
Yeah. We're going on holidays.
Sounds like a great weekend.
Yeah.
The
We're doing Gibraltar next year as well.
The next tournament is Queen City Oktoberfest. That's 40 players, 5 rounds, and this is the big difference here. This is what I mean. This is why I think that top one doesn't seem right. So this is what we call normal scoring. It's Dark Angels, Gladius Task Force 5-0, Eldari 4-1, Chaos Knights 4-1, Necrons 4-1,
Necrons 4-1.
GSC 4-1, Space Marines, Ironstorm 4-1, and Tyranid Synaptics 4-1.
Yeah.
But that's 40 players. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
They must
It's
have a
the
lot of
GSC
5 and
that
0s
surprised
going
me.
into game 5. Yeah. But then I think if it's still, I still think it's now if it's piloted well, it can do well.
God, yeah. We just don't see much of them in our area. I think there's 2 decent GSE players.
I mean, Chaos Knights have been in every single one so far. Like, they're the consistency here. I know Eldar are always there as well, but Chaos Knights is the one that's sort of standing out to me right now.
I feel like when you go to Crossroads, and it would be great, I think we should get you on the channel after this. You should take your Chaos Knights, Josh, because you were very good with your Knights.
Yeah.
With Knights.
I was gonna take an Imperial Knights list and just say bollocks to it, but now I'm seeing this, I might take the Chaos instead.
There's some demons.
I've got the demons as well. Yeah.
If Black Crow, we want to show that we can pilot these things, and we've got lists available to us. We're seeing this in the meta quite a lot. I think it'd be really cool if you took this, then come back to us and just feedback your experience with Chaos Knights at an event. Why in this battle 3 months ago, Chaos Knights were bottom of the pack?
I wouldn't touch my barge pole 3 months ago.
Yeah, and I think this would be great, and for us all to see. If you took them to Crossroads, which is your next tournament, right? GT.
It is indeed. Glass hammer terrain, so quite dense.
Yeah.
What do you reckon? What are you thinking to that proposal?
I mean, I can. It's definitely on the cards. I've got pretty much everything that I think I'm going to need. Maybe a couple of weird little nights that I might not be able to take, but we'll be all right. No. I just meant like, have I got enough gun options to do everything I need to do? But we can figure something out, surely.
Yeah, because you want the brigands or the stalkers with like the ballistic skill 2 chain cannons.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
But you're also going to want to take the carnivores as well, just because they're so cheap now and very punchy. So.
Food for thought. I tell you what, keep an eye on this, and we're going to be, because we quite a few of us have got tournaments coming up. I'm going to a little 20-man RTT this weekend, which I'm using very much as a warm up to some of the bigger events I'm going to, just to test what I'm going to do. So maybe we can do later in the week, as we get closer to these tournaments, maybe we should do some like tournament talk, but sort of part of our channel. We'll come on, we'll talk about the list that you're going to take and sort of what brought you to what you're hoping to be able to achieve with that list. But I'd love to see, Josh, you take, considering what we're seeing in the meta Monday, I think it'd be really cool if you took a Chaos Knight list, because I know you've got it available to you. And what rank were you at one point with your Imperial Knights?
Top 5
in the country or in the
ITC.
In the world?
God, I think it was in the world, yeah. Because when was that? 2018, 2019, I think it was. It's 8th edition.
So I think it's maybe you've got the pedigree to give these a crack. What do you reckon, Simon? Do you think we should encourage him to go give this a go?
Of course he does. He's always got the pedigree to do it. You know, he's got the mental ideas with his lists sometimes, like his Grey Knights that he did last edition, taking the Paladin bombs before they were cool. We know he's got the ability. He knows he's got the ability. It's just getting time to actually play it and practice it, because he doesn't have the chance because he's a busy man.
Well, you know what? We've got the channel. Obviously, we're doing the battle reps. Next battle rep, Josh. Let's see him.
That is a plan.
Yeah, that's the plan. I said the last couple of reps that we've been doing on the channel, and again coming up this week, will be me trying out more factions in this, trying to figure out what we're taking across swords.
So shall we move on? So we've got next one is a bit more local. It's in Dublin, Ireland. I say local. It's Ireland. It's across the pond-ish. 29 players. 4 rounds. So quite a small event, really. These events, they're all quite small that we're getting into now. Death Guard went 5-0. And we're going to talk about Death Guard a bit, actually, because a certain pro player of ours has been running his Death Guard. Eldari 4-1.
Mr. Ray.
World Eaters 4-1. Grey Knights 4-1. Tyranids 4-1. World Eaters 4-1. So we'll go to Death Guard. So first what I say is well done to one of our players, Ray. He went all the way up to Hellstorm, and he went up 2 with Death Guard. Now, he'll tell you, he has stuck to Death Guard from the very beginning, when they were awful.
Pants.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely spanked. And this just shows just how it wasn't him, it was the tools at his disposal. Just because he's such a good player, he then rocked up.
Oh, Ray's excellent.
Rocked up, and he's gone 4-2, which, and by all
You finished 18th?
he probably could have gone 6-0 with just how close some of the games were.
Yeah. If you remembered that he had a certain objective and he would have won the game, yeah.
Yeah, if he had actually scored his points properly.
Yeah.
So, what are we thinking from that? Is that a local meta showing its face? Because it's quite varied. Like, you've got 2 World Eaters, Grey Knights, Tyranids, and Eldari only one. I feel like that's just local meta coming through there. Players.
Local meta and a guy knowing his list very well and playing it well.
Yeah. And I think this shows through in our next one as well. And this is the Winchester 40k GT. 28 players, 5 rounds. You've got Guard 5-0, Space Wolves 4-1, Guard 4-1, Chaos Space Marines 4-1, Tau 4-1.
I want to see the terrain for that one.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. That's
Guard, Space Wolves, Shooty Space Wolves, Guard, Tau.
Yeah.
Winchester.
Yeah,
It's either Planet Bowling Ball or it's...
I think we've got, from the sounds of this...
I think the clue's in the title of the name. You just bring a Winchester, you don't bring an axe.
This one's really funny. So this one's called Carnage 40k. It's Killington VT, 21 players, 5 rounds. Votan 5-0, Votan 4-1.
Oh, do 2 people play?
Yeah.
2 people on this one. So Meta Monday gave us 2, but yeah, first.
That's fine.
Well,
Double Voltan, that's fine.
The takeaways. So the big takeaway, obviously, Eldaria is still strong.
Yeah.
They're still strong.
Need more nerfs. I play them, they need nerfs.
They have a 60% overall win rate for the weekend.
63, yeah. I am also. I did my homework. I'm looking at it now.
And then we've got
Leagues of Votan.
yeah, go on. Let's have off 60.
So yeah, Leagues of Votan. Only 12 players, but 65% win rate. So we know they're strong, but not everyone's got the models for that particular list style at the moment. So I reckon they're going to see them creep up a bit more in the next couple of months.
Yeah.
There's a sad bit that's coming along here, and but I'm going to just show a little bit like Death Guard, 15 players. True, Eldar do need a nerf. Thank you, Matty, for coming back and watching. We completely agree. They don't need a nerf. They need a codex.
I don't think that's going to help any of us. I just see burning. Put them in the bin. Because the trouble is, we know they're going to get a massive model revamp at some point, which means they're going to be even more broken. Or they've made them broken now to try and sell off all the crap they've got in storage. So everyone buys it.
Those new striking scorpions are.
I'm getting 2 of those boxes.
Did you just swear on stream?
I said 2.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
So, Death Guard, 54% win rate. They came from the bottom, and now they're sitting at a nice, comfortable 54%. Custodes used to know what that was like one day. How are we feeling about that?
I mean, 15 players is not massively represented, but that's still good. I mean, what's that? 71 games, 38 wins. So yeah, I reckon that's a nice percentage, and it's, as you say, a massive difference to where they were 2 or 3 months ago. So
yeah.
There's a nice sort of percentage. So we typically look at the weekend, but let's have a look at on the data table, the 7-week win percentage. So this is 7 weeks worth of data. So Eldaria is sitting at 56%. Chaos Space is sitting at 55. Votan is sitting at 55. It's the numbers. The numbers aren't gonna lie. Really, they're strong, aren't they? And Votan. The rules aren't particularly good, but they're super cheap. Super cheap.
I don't know if the rules are bad. I've not really faced them much, but the fact they can let 2 judgment tokens on multiple units that gives them +1 to hit and +1 to wound. That's good.
It does work. It just works. And their guns, it's when they get the +1 to wound, because although they're hitting on 3s when they get these judgment tokens, they're typically wounding on 2s.
Yeah, especially with the big guns.
That hurts.
You can build it and have the the dev wound guns, which are really good.
Yeah, they are good. Custodes, they're sitting at 42%. Big fall from Grey.
still well represented though.
No,
They're still well represented.
Do you see Jukari's representation this weekend?
2.
2.
Yeah, it doesn't look good for him, mate, I'm afraid.
No.
But Tao's a shock. Tao's a real shock.
I think
17 players for Tao,
I
at 35% win rate.
Yeah, I think they're just bad players.
Yeah.
They're still down to 49%. So I think this is a blip. This is a one-off.
Yeah, I've heard I've spoken to some top players of Tau, and they seem you've got to get them right. Like you need to know how to pilot an army to play it well, especially at a high competitive level. I mean, another surprise for me was Grey Knights. They just haven't been performing the way we kind of assumed they would. But I think the biggest issue they've got is just there's just no fighting power in them. Like they score well, but if you can kill them, then they can't kill you back.
It was like they had a resurgence during WTC, didn't they? Because people did well with them at the teams event.
But but they are great for teams events
yes.
because they can just jump around and score well. Like they're perfect. addition to teams events.
Definitely. But you weren't seeing them before that, and then after WTC, everyone went, "Ooh, Grey Knights."
Yeah.
We've got a couple friends of Black Crow who have decided they wanted to come. They got in before our Black Crow players could come, and that's Simon Corder from Crosswords and Gareth from Crosswords. They were on the Meta Monday a couple of weeks ago, and they were obviously very energetic. If you haven't seen the episode, I suggest you watch that because that was pretty crazy. I imagine we're going to see teams like a team from Try Hard turning up. I do intend on getting Eddie back on the stream at some point and having a chat with him and seeing what their plan is.
Yeah, find out his list.
Yeah, find out the Try Hard list. But I think there's a lot to look forward to. Black Crow, we're kind of growing our brand. We're growing the YouTube channel, and we can't do that. We've just got to say thank you to everybody that has watched us, who has liked and subscribed to us. I know from like Simon and Josh, who are two of like the founding members of Black Crow Gaming. It's been a bit of a journey, hasn't it? Because you kind of coming to this stage where you're like, yeah, all right, let's actually make this into a thing. When did you turn around and be like, we're actually growing now? What shall we embrace it, or do we try and keep it more insular?
We've discussed it for years.
Yeah, true.
We've thought about it for years, and we'll do it. And then I went and filmed with Bugle Bat Reps. Took a load of ideas of what they did and went, Josh, we can do this.
So I've taken it, adapted it, made it my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah.
On our shopping list is what? Dice cam, top down. That's all in the shopping list at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, for me,
I'm not.
a podcast mic would be nice, and a better camera so you can see this beautiful bearded face. Pick the right one, guys.
Comment your favourite.
Oh, God.
Do you know what? This is really funny, and this is something we should bring up as well. So when Josh messaged us being like, looking at our analytics, and apparently we had like a small following of Filipino women or some Filipinos watching.
I think they just put it on when they're cooking, to be honest. I think it's just keep them busy.
It's the Canadians as well, eh?
Canadians, eh? Yeah, Canadians. Hello.
We've lost them now. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, Canadians. Apparently, we need to be doing it in French. We had a request for recently. If I could speak French, I would love to.
Yeah. Hopefully, you've missed Josh's attempt to speak French earlier, because we've definitely lost them after that one.
Please don't strike this podcast out, YouTube. I mean, we've already done one section.
We're doing our best.
Reference and one ginger joke, so we should be okay by now.
It's better than some of the other ones.
I'm staying out of it. I'm innocent until proven guilty.
You are all in it, mate.
I feed the fire. I was born in
Yeah, Norfolk.
I think basically we're coming towards the end of this week's Meta Monday ITT chat. It's been a pleasure having you both on. Again, Josh coming on. Simon, this is your first time on the Meta Monday. Have you enjoyed yourself? Do you like it?
I do. It's nice. I'm at home doing this. I have to travel to Josh's to do it.
Do it for other
Yeah.
Anyway, from us from Black Crow Gaming, we just want to say a big thank you. If you like what you're seeing, if you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, share, follow, all of those magical things. Find us on Facebook, come join us in Discord and have a chat. All of these little things, they really help us grow as we try and grow our channel. If you see us at an event, just come and chat to us. We love meeting new people. We love that kind of...
Oh, 100%.
That's a big part of it for us, is meeting
Yeah,
people,
love the community.
chat to them, and we'll sit and have a chat and beer with anyone pretty much. So if you do see us at an event, you see a Black Crow, go make sure you speak to them. If you have a negative experience with them, tell Josh. If
thought you were going to say keep it to yourself, but
Yeah.
You deal with it. But I'd just like to say thank you again to everybody. So next week we'll be back. We'll be looking at the meta. We'll probably be having a think about who we want to get back on. I haven't discussed about getting a guest on yet, but I'll work it out in the middle of the week and I'll let you know on one of our shorts. But from us at Black Crow Gaming, we'll see you later. Thanks very much for joining us.
cheers, guys. Bye.
See you later, everybody, and
Bye.
good evening.
Cheers, mate. Good job.
Cheers, buddy.